Hello everyone, and welcome to the fascinating world of biology. Have you ever wondered why you have your mother's eyes, or perhaps your father's smile? The answer is hidden deep inside your cells, within a remarkable set of instructions called genetics. Today, we're going to explore the fundamental concepts of heredity. We'll decode exactly how traits get passed down from parents to offspring, framing DNA as the ultimate instruction manual for building a living organism. By the end of this explainer, you're going to understand the language of life itself. Let's start our journey.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the blueprint of life, dive into variations in genes, and then compare genotypes with phenotypes. After that, we'll cover the laws of inheritance and finally wrap up by predicting genetic probabilities.
All right, Section 1, the blueprint of life. We're talking DNA, chromosomes, and genes.
First up, let's look at the genome. I want you to think of the genome as the entire master library of your biological information. It literally contains every single instruction necessary to build and operate you.
Now, within that massive library, the actual physical paper and ink used to write those instructions, that's the DNA molecule itself. Deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, holds the precise instructions that specify the biological development of all cellular life. It's the ultimate instruction manual. Of course, to keep this insane amount of DNA organized and prevent it from just becoming a tangled mess inside our cells, it gets tightly packed into specific storage units. These are called chromosomes. You can imagine chromosomes acting like the individual, bound books sitting right there on the shelves of your genetic library.
For us humans, most of our cells contain exactly 46 of these chromosomes. You inherit one set from each parent, which leaves you with 22 pairs of autosomes, plus the 2 sex chromosomes that determine if you are biologically male or female. This is exactly how the story of you begins.
Finally, if chromosomes are the books, genes are the specific individual recipes found inside those books. A gene is the basic unit of genetic information that dictates your inherited characters. It's the precise recipe for your unique traits, like your hair color or your blood type.
Let's piece this all together visually. Notice how the twisting DNA ladder is divided into specific gene segments, and all of that incredibly long DNA is bundled up neatly into that classic X-shaped chromosome. When you really think about it, it is just an amazing feat of biological engineering.
Moving right along to Section 2, alleles, variations in genes, and creating diversity.
If we look at the logical structure of a chromosome here, we see that a specific gene lives at a very precise physical location called a locus. But importantly, that gene can come in different variant forms. Scientists call these variations alleles. So, for example, the locus for eye color might have an allele for brown eyes from your dad and an allele for blue eyes from your mom. So, how does your body decide which one to actually show? Well, these variant alleles interact in very specific ways. A dominant allele is powerful. If it's present, it's going to show up, even if it's paired with a contrasting allele. A recessive allele, on the other hand, is much quieter. It only becomes visible when it's paired with a matching recessive partner. This interaction right here is the secret behind genetic diversity.
Let's see how this builds with a real-world example. Look at these cats. The brown allele, represented by a capital B, is dominant over the recessive gray allele, the lowercase b. Because of that, even the cat in the middle, which has one brown and one gray allele, will appear entirely brown. It literally takes 2 recessive little b's for the cat on the far right to finally appear gray.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, genotypes versus phenotypes, the hidden versus the visible. Scientists use 2 really important words to describe this. The crucial point to remember is that your genotype is your actual genetic makeup. It's the hidden letters in your DNA, the exact pair of genes at a locus, like a capital B and a lowercase b. Your phenotype, though, is the physical expression of that genotype. It is what we physically see on the outside, like your hair color or the presence of a disease. You can see this beautifully in Drosophila or fruit flies. We can see exactly how different combinations of dominant and recessive alleles in their hidden genotype directly dictate whether their physical phenotype features black or white eyes. Okay, Section 4, the laws of inheritance, passing on the code. Gregor Mendel laid the absolute groundwork for this. Mendel's first law states that gene pairs segregate, which simply means they separate from each other. So a parent only passes down exactly 1/2 of their genetic code to their offspring. And this happens in a highly structured step-by-step process. Parent cells start with paired genes.
Those pairs then segregate during gamete production. Ultimately, half the resulting gametes carry one member of the pair, and the other half carry the other member. It's a perfectly divided system.
This diagram cleanly maps it out for us. A parent with a big Y and a little y allele produces gametes where exactly half carry the big Y and half carry the little y. This 50-50 split forms the basis for prediction tools like the Punnett square. By crossing the alleles of two parents, this simple grid calculates the mathematical probability of what traits the children will inherit. It's honestly like a weather forecast for biology.
And that takes us to our final section, Section 5, Predicting Genetic Probabilities, from Theory to Application. We can apply this math not just to individual parents, but to broader groups too. If we look at a population, like these 30 dogs, we can use simple math to predict inheritance patterns. With 10 blue-eyed dogs out of 30 total, we can easily calculate that a randomly chosen dog from this specific population has exactly a 1 in 3 chance of having blue eyes. This table breaks down the math. And look, calculating these probability ratios isn't just some abstract academic exercise. This is exactly how scientists and geneticists predict everything from agricultural animal traits to the inheritance patterns of human diseases. And this is why this fundamentally matters to all of us. Medical professionals use these exact same inheritance patterns to track, map, and predict rare genetic disorders across multiple family generations. By looking at whether a disease follows an autosomal, X-linked, or even a mitochondrial pattern like LHON, doctors can actually predict the likelihood of it passing from parent to child. What an incredible journey through the basics of genetics! Today, we discovered that DNA is our master instruction manual, and genes are the individual recipes. We've traveled from the microscopic DNA double helix all the way to the physical traits we see in the mirror. Genetics is a rapidly advancing science that truly holds the key to medicine, agriculture, and understanding our own history. So I leave you with this final thought. What hidden traits and ancient biological histories are quietly waiting to be decoded in your own genetic blueprint? Thank you for watching this explainer. Keep asking questions, keep studying the world around you, and I will see you in our next lesson.